What would you do if you could fix everything your team ever screwed up just by saying one word? Sounds pretty harmless, right? Well, as our four main characters are about to find out, harmless is how every nightmare begins, especially when you're dealing with dark magic. And unbeknownst to Shady Hollow's resident Panthers fan and walking tragedy, Jacob Farmworthy, he's about to find out what dark magic does when you reach into the shadows and think something won't reach back. This episode sounds like it's going to take a Stephen King Needful Things sort of turn. Actually, it leans more towards Thinner by Richard Bachman, but vaguely. Richard Bachman is Stephen King. Thank you, Josh, for educating me on a fact that I've known since I was 12. Now, can I tell the story, or would you like to shock the audience by revealing that Kirk Cousins and Kirk Thuggins are the same guy? Shady Hollow's carnival is a year-round event, constantly pulling in out-of-towners looking to set up tents, sell strange wares, and showcase even stranger talents. So it's no surprise when Amanda, the Falcons fan known around Shady Hollow for verbally wrecking anyone who so much as mentions 28-3, squints across the midway and says, "Hey, there's a fortune teller over there." Off in the distance, just beyond where sick-looking people stumble away from the Gravitron, stands a tent, stitched from red velvet and tangled string lights. Above the entrance, a warped wooden sign reads, "Madame Griselda." And just below that, in faded hand-painted letters, "I see all." Brandon, the Bucks fan who refuses to wear another quarterback's jersey until someone not named Brady wins a ring, lets out a laugh. That poor woman. She must have seen every Panther snap from the last couple of seasons. I bet she doesn't sleep much. Brandon glances at Jacob, the Panthers fan, waiting for a reaction. To the shock of absolutely no one, he doesn't get one. "Leave him alone, Brandon," says Tyrell, the Saints fan, who wears a string of beads with a heavy Saints logo on his chest, convinced it's actively manipulating reality to deliver Arch Manning, as divine compensation for everything that's happened since Drew Brees retired. Poor bastard's been through enough. And now they're about to waste another first-round stud in Tet McMillan, so it's only going to get worse. This time, Jacob claps back. "The Saints finished with the same record as we did. How could you even talk?" "Easy," Tyrell shrugs. "We've won a Super Bowl in the past 20 years. I'm well within the statute of limitations for trash-talking teams who haven't done that." He glances at Amanda, who's already staring back at him waiting. She curls her hand into a fist and gives him a slow smile. The kind that says, "Go ahead, mention the Falcons. I totally won't hurt you." Tyrell swallows. Well, we should probably go see what this Griselda witch lady is all about. And with that, he heads towards the tent. The others follow. They hesitate for a moment when they reach the tent and then poke their heads inside. It smells like incense, thick and sweet, but undercut with something older. Damp wood, burnt herbs, the kind of scent that lingers in your lungs and settles on your clothes. The air is heavy with fog, the kind that clings to your skin and makes you too aware of it. No one's inside. Just rows of strange, mismatched shelves, stacked with dusty old books, cloudy glass jars, melted candles, and tarnished trinkets that look like they belong in a museum no one would ever dare visit. The glow from the string lights outside barely penetrates the gloom. "Creepy as hell," Brandon mutters, stepping further in. He grabs something off a nearby shelf. A small black orb encased in tangled metal wire. He thinks he sees something inside, like a puff of smoke reacting to the movement, the way a fish jerks when you tap its bowl. He blinks. "Hey guys, come look at this." And that's when he hears it. A voice, dry and brittle but crystal clear. "I'd be careful with that." Brandon flinches and nearly drops the orb. He turns quickly, and there she is, Madame Griselda. She stands just inside the tent flap, as if she materialized out of the fog itself. Her frame is thin, but she holds herself with an unsettling stillness. Her skin is like worn parchment, wrinkled and pale, stretched tight in some places, but sagging in others. Her eyes are sharp and colorless, like milk that's turned. "That contains the essence of a parasitic entity," she says, voice slow and exacting. "It feeds on your happiness until there's none left, and leaves you a shell of despair. If you break it, it will find a home inside of you." Brandon stares at the orb, and then glances over at Jacob. "What if someone who doesn't know happiness breaks it?" he asks. "Will the entity die of starvation?" Tyrell snorts. "Will you two grow up?" Amanda snaps. She marches over. "Put it back," she tells Brandon, and then turns to Griselda. "I'm sorry, ma'am. We'll get out of your way." She shoves the giggling Brandon and Tyrell towards the exit. Jacob lingers behind. He sighs and starts to follow, but stops when he hears, "Wait." He turns to find Griselda's eyes locked on him. She speaks slowly, rhythmically, like she's not talking to him, but through him. "You carry it. The weight of failure." Jacob scoffs and looks down at the logo on his chest. "Yeah, well, I guess 7 wins across 2 seasons will do that to a person." He turns to leave again, but her voice stops him cold. "Wouldn't it be nice if they stopped laughing?" Jacob freezes. and turns again. Griselda meets him with a smile, almost too wide, as if she's been waiting years to ask him that question. Just say the word, she says, and they'll never laugh at you again. Oh man, Josh, this is why I always say, if you see a gypsy tent, turn the other way. Not once have I heard you say that. Are you kidding me? I say that at least once a day. You know what? I'm not going to argue with you about this. Just tell Dave the narrator to give us a little background on gypsies.
The term gypsy is often used inaccurately to describe the Romani people, a nomadic ethnic group with roots tracing back to northern India. They're usually cast as mysterious outsiders, fortune tellers, curse givers, people who know things they shouldn't. Basically, in horror, if a gypsy shows up offering a warning or a wish, it means something sinister is coming.
The sound of his mother calling from downstairs cuts through the early morning gloom of Jacob's bedroom. Jacob, it's 6 o'clock. If you don't get up now, you're gonna miss the bus. He groans and rolls out of bed. The room is dim. Outside, rain taps against the window. Steady and miserable. Gray light seeps through the curtains. Jacob rubs his face. Griselda said today would be different. The best day of his life. And it's raining. He hates rain. Stupid, he mutters. I actually believe that crazy old woman. He goes through the motions. Shower, toothbrush, hoodie. He doesn't feel different. He feels damp and annoyed. Downstairs, he opens the cabinet looking for cereal and stops. A box of Bryce Krispies sits on the shelf in front of him, with Bryce Young smiling on the front, mid-throw in perfect HD print. He pulls the box off the shelf, squinting at it. He shrugs it off and pours a bowl, still frowning as he shuffles into the living room and turns on the TV. The Shady Hollow Sports Network flickers to life on the screen. A familiar anchor, Ham Handelman, sits behind the desk, mid-sentence. And now to the NFL, where the Carolina Panthers continue their quest for an unprecedented third straight Super Bowl title. Jacob freezes. On screen, Bryce Young, grinning ear to ear, lifts the Lombardi trophy as confetti rains down behind him. A graphic flashes at the bottom of the screen. Carolina Dynasty? Question mark. Jacob's spoon slips from his hand and clinks against the bowl. What the f***? Hey, language! His mother snaps from the kitchen, but Jacob doesn't respond. He just stares. Later that morning, Tyrell is sitting in front of the school with Amanda and Brandon. It's a typical start to the day, nothing unusual. At least until Jacob steps off the bus. He's smiling. Actually smiling. And not the kind of smile that comes from a good mood or a funny video. No, this one's different. It's smug. Somehow confident. Like someone who's just discovered the universe has finally decided to succumb to their will. As he walks towards them, other students move out of his way without a word. Tyrell watches, confused. Jacob stops in front of them, smirking. Losers, he says. And then walks inside the school with a swagger of someone whose name is etched above the entrance. Tyrell blinks. The heck was that all about? Brandon barely looks up. That three-peat is really getting to his head. Tyrell turns to him slowly. The Chiefs missed the three-peat, but why would he care about that? Brandon furrows his brow, like Tyrell just asked him what year it was. And that's when Amanda cuts in. Chiefs, what are you talking about? Tyrell looks between them. What are you talking about? Amanda raises an eyebrow. The Panthers are going for a three-peat this year. What dimension are you living in? Tyrell lets out a short, nervous laugh, but no one laughs with him. They just stare, like he's the one saying weird things. Finally, he says, okay, seriously, stop. This is stupid. Brandon shrugs. I don't know what to tell you, dude. Just look it up. Tyrell pulls out his phone, and a moment later, he loses his breath. It's all there. The scores, the articles, the photos, and Bryce Young hoisting the Lombardi. Twice. Tyrell says nothing. He just continues staring at the screen. And for the first time all morning, he begins to wonder if he's still at home, safely tucked away in his bed, still dreaming. Oh, poor Tyrell. Josh, can you imagine waking up one morning and finding out the Panthers are on their way to a three-peat? I think the better question is, how did the hardware owner on Halloween know the guy who broke in only took a mask, some rope, and a couple of knives? Was he like an inventory psychic? I guess we can file that right next to why does every car in Haddonfield, Illinois have California plates? It's time to hand out the NFC South's record predictions, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but this division could be weirdly interesting this season. Oh, if us dominating is your definition of interesting, then yeah, I guess interesting's the perfect word. Why do you automatically assume you're gonna dominate? Well, that's easy. Two of the teams in this division barely qualify as NFL franchises. You think he's talking about us? He could be talking about you twice, Carolina and New Orleans, or he could also be talking about us. And you, well, you're you. We beat you twice last season, and where did it lead you? Back to me. What does that even mean? I don't know, it sounded better in my head. If we are done butchering Infinity War quotes, I would like to move on. Carolina, I have you at 5 wins. Same as last season. I guess that means we didn't get any worse. We'll see about that. Speaking of teams getting worse, New Orleans, I've got you at 3 wins. Honestly, it's 3 more wins than our fans might be expecting, so thanks, I guess. You're not welcome, Atlanta. You're a mystery to me. I could see you winning 6 games, and I could also see you winning 11. So I'm splitting the difference, and I'm giving you 9. Don't make me regret it. I promise you nothing. And Tampa, you've won 8, 9, and 10 games the last 3 years, so I figured, what the hell, let's make it 11 this time. That's it? No analysis, just basic addition? Would you prefer I use subtraction? Oh no, addition's great. It's my favorite method of calculation. I like to use my middle finger when I'm counting. It's a good way to secretly flip people off. Vegas, that's the tension. You know, I'm not one to typically agree with Vegas, but that is a pretty useful trick.
And so the story continues.
Tyrell bolts out of class and cuts across the quad, taking the stone path that leads to the school library. He shoves the heavy door open and slips inside. The library is dim. Dusk particles drift like ash through slivers of sun. Mr. Halverson is perched behind the front desk, as always. A cup of tea steams beside him as he catalogs books with that meticulous focus only Halverson can manage. Tyrell marches up. I need access to the occult section right now. Halverson doesn't look up. Mr. Cunningham, always a pleasure. You don't understand, there's something going on, Tyrell says. Something's wrong. I think reality's being messed with. That makes Halverson pause. His brow twitches for a moment, and then he brushes it off. The idea of reality being messed with is absurd. Who put you up to this? Before Tyrell can answer, the heavy doors of the library squeal open, and the room darkens, just slightly like a shadow passing overhead. Jacob stands in the entrance, staring at them. His eyes seem darker. Not tired, just hollow. And his skin looks wrong somehow, like it was shaded in with a rotten crayon. He smiles. She said you might try to ruin this. Tyrell turns. She? Jacob steps closer. Madame Griselda. She said that thing around your neck might make you immune to the spell. She told me to watch out for you. There's a hum coming off him now, like a machine warming up, and his eyes flicker with blue, as if something else is watching from within. She made it so I'd never be sad again, Jacob says, so people would respect me, look up to me. And I can't let you take that away. Tyrell glances at Halverson. You hear this? He's literally admitting, but Halverson keeps scribbling. I can't grant access to the occult section, Mr. Cunningham, but we did just get a new supernatural thriller about a haunted arcade game from the 80s. It's urban legend stuff, but it's terribly delightful. Jacob smirks. He can't help you. To him, we're just having a casual chat. He can't even hear what I'm saying. He nods towards Tyrell's necklace. Now take that off, and just fall into place like everyone else. No, Tyrell says, but Jacob's grin grows wider. You know, I could make you take it off. He lifts his hand. Just slightly, but it's enough. Something invisible hums through the air. And then a moment later, Amanda and Brandon step into the library. Their expressions are soft, artificial, like they're being puppeteered.
Hey, Tyrell,
they say in perfect unison. Tyrell backs up. What did you do to them? They see what I want them to see. And when they look at you, they see danger. Brandon points. Oh my God, Tyrell, don't move. There's a spider on your chest. Amanda gasps. Oh my God, it's huge. We gotta get it off. They lunge and Tyrell stumbles back, but Brandon still grabs him. And Amanda pins down his arm. Halverson is still in the background, oblivious to what's going on. He's still droning on about the haunted game. And Jacob inches closer. There's nothing to worry about, he says. This new world really is beautiful. I'm sure you'll learn to love it. And he reaches for Tyrell's necklace. And that's when Tyrell says, it's not real. Jacob stops and looks him in the eye. It's not real, Tyrell says again. We might play along and it might seem fine, but you'll know. You'll always know. Deep down, this is all fake. Jacob sneers. It is real. Ask them. Ask Amanda. Ask Brandon. Tyrell turns to Brandon. Who did the Panthers beat in the Super Bowl? Brandon's brow tightens. Wow, I don't remember. Jacob snaps at him. The Chiefs! And Brandon exhales like a valve was just released. Oh, that's right, the Chiefs. Then Tyrell turns to Amanda. How many wins did the Panthers have in the regular season? Amanda flinches at the question. She glances at Jacob almost instinctively. I don't remember? Jacob's jaw tightens. 13! Who did they lose to? Tyrell fires back. Amanda opens her mouth, but nothing comes out. And then Tyrell fires off more questions, like a barrage of punches. How many touchdowns did Bryce Young throw? Who did they beat in the playoffs? Did any of those games go to overtime? What was the score of the NFC Championship game? Brandon and Amanda start echoing the questions, repeating them in a near panic. Their grip weakens and Tyrell breaks free. Halverson's watching them now. His brow is furrowed. Wait a second, who did they beat? And now more students are drifting into the library, drawn by the tension in the air. One by one, they start asking Jacob the same questions, as if their sanity depends on the answers. Jacob stumbles back, clutching the Panthers keychain like it's the only thing holding him together. His knuckles are white. his eyes wild. Amanda grabs his shoulders, shouting, desperate for answers, and the keychain slips from his hand. Amanda's foot lands on it, hard, and there's a crack. Jacob's face collapses. No, he whispers. The keychain erupts, blue fire spitting out like veins through the air. Griselda's face burns in the flame, half human, half something else. She locks eyes with Tyrell. The dead don't forget, child. And she vanishes, amid a chorus of terrible laughter. Jacob sinks to the floor, trembling against the wall. The others blink, dazed. Brandon scans the room. Wait, how do we get in here? Tyrell grips his shoulders. Quick, are the Panthers about to three-peat? Three-peat? Brandon glances around. Yeah, and the Dolphins are going undefeated on the road in December. And the room erupts with laughter, except for a random Dolphins fan named Kevin standing in the corner frowning. The bell rings, and everyone filters out. Halverson looks up from his cataloging, blinking as if he's just come out of a trance. Mr. Cunningham, what was it you needed again? Tyrell exhales, glancing down at the cracked keychain Griselda just emerged from moments ago. The 80s haunted arcade book, he says. Halverson's face lights up. Oh yes, Polybius. It's urban legend stuff, but terribly delightful, like I said before. I'll fetch it for you immediately. You're gonna love it. He rushes off, humming a little tune as if none of what just happened ever occurred. Tyrell reaches down and helps Jacob up. Whatever was haunting his features before has now vanished. I just want it to matter. Just once, he says. But it wouldn't have been real, Tyrell says. And she was doing something to you. Jacob sighs and nods. After a moment, he points to the fleur-de-lis on Tyrell's chest. She said that charm you wear is powerful. What is it anyway? Tyrell opens it, revealing a small pouch inside. It's called a gree-gree. My grandmother made it. She said it would ward off evil. I always thought it was just a superstition, but maybe it's not. Jacob nods. Well, that world was kind of weird anyway. And the Rice Krispies were not good. Tyrell squints. The what? I'll explain, Jacob says as the two of them walk out of the library. A moment later, Halverson reappears. All right, I got it. If you'll just come sign out for it, But he stops mid-sentence and glances around at the empty room. Mr. Cunningham? But only the tea on his desk steams in reply. Well, I think it's safe to say, Josh, that everyone in Shady Hollow and beyond owes Tyrell's grandmother a debt of gratitude. Well, everyone except Panthers fans. I don't know, if the Rice Krispies were really as bad as Jacob says they were, then they'll probably all agree that this is for the best. Anyway, the moral of the story is be careful what you wish for, kids, because sometimes the scariest thing isn't getting nothing, it's getting exactly what you asked for. Like when you begged the universe for Aaron Rodgers to go to the Jets. If I could ask the universe for anything right now, it would be for Griselda to take whatever it is she has planned for Tyrell and unleash it fully upon you.